Before we start, if you like this video, please support my channel by pressing like, and if you subscribe, press the notification bell so that you will get alerts if I have new videos to upload, okay? And guys, by doing it, I will appreciate it very much. Hello guys, this is Rhandz from Rhandz Graphix and welcome back to my After Effects tutorial channel. Today we will be making this. Let's start by creating a new composition and I will name it placeholder 1. 2160 by 2160. Then 30 frames per second and 10 seconds duration. The background is black. Click OK. Press my keyboard Ctrl D to duplicate it 9 times. Highlight it all. Open it up by double clicking my mouse. I will create a new folder and I will name it main photos. I will highlight this placeholder 1, 2, 3. I will drag it into the main photos folder. I will again create another folder and I will name it background photos or BG photos. Then I will highlight this placeholder 4 to 10 and I will drag it into the BG photos. Then go to composition, create a new composition. I will name it border. Still the size is 2160 by 2160, 30 frames per second and 10 seconds duration. Click OK. Create a new folder here and I will name it other comps. Then I will open my folder assets, go to image, go to elements and I will just drop this border comp into the timeline. Then again, I will go to composition. I will create a new composition. I will name it framed photos. The size is 2160 by 2160, 30 frames per second and 10 seconds duration. Click OK. Press my keyboard Ctrl D to duplicate it 9 times. I will create a new folder here and I will name it frame photos comps. Then I will highlight all these frame photos. I will drag it into the frame photos comps folder. I will just highlight these frame photos and right click my mouse, rename it. I will just add 1 on it. Then I will go to composition again, create a new composition. I will name it text placeholder 1. I'm gonna change this width to 1600 and the height I will change this to 400. Frame rate is 30, the duration is 10 seconds. Click OK. Zoom it in, grab the text tool and type text here. Open this align tool and align it at the center. Then I will open the character. I will show you that my font that I use is Lato, bold, 125 pixel size, color is gray. Open my effects and preset and I will apply this effect called random fade up. Apply it into your text layer. Go back and open placeholder 1. Open folder assets, go to image, open photos folder and drop this JPEG one into the timeline. Press P on your keyboard and maybe I will just drag it on the left side. and open the placeholder 2 and also drop this JPEG 2 into the timeline. Press S in your keyboard and scale it up. Do this to all the placeholders, okay? And adjust it to your wants, okay? Then I will open this frame photos comps, highlight all these compositions, double click my mouse to open it up. And then I will go to the frame photos. I will close this folder and I will open the main photos. We'll drop this down into the timeline and also the border just above the placeholder 1. I will highlight this frame photos too. I will drop down this border here, highlight this placeholder 2 and drop it down to the timeline. You will do this to all the frame photos, okay? We open the background photos, choose this placeholder 4 to drop it down to the frame photos for composition, and also highlight this border and drop it down just above the placeholder 4. Do the same to the other compositions. Now go to composition, create a new composition. I will name it stamp 1. I will change the width here to 1000 and the height is 1000. 30 frames per second and 10 seconds duration. Click OK. Then I will open my project assets, go to image, go to elements. I will choose this element 5. I think that should be good enough. I will close this elements folder, go to composition, create a new composition. I will name it media 1. I will change the width here to 3840 by 2160. 30 frames per second and 10 seconds duration. Click OK. Open frame photos comp, highlight this frame photos 1 to 3, drag it down into the timeline and change the color code here to Cyan. Enable the 3D layers, press P on your keyboard for position. Highlight this photo 1 and drag it on the left side. Change the Z position here to 4745. Then highlight this photo 2, change the Z position to 2158. Highlight this frame photo 3 and drag it on the left side like that and change the Z position here to 4358. Drag it on the right side, drag it up a bit. Disable the visibility of these frame photos. I will highlight the frame photo 4 up to 10. Drag it into the timeline. Enable the 3D layer and press P on your keyboard for the position. All we have to do here is to reposition the photos. Change the Z positions to your preference, okay? I'll just fast forward it guys so that you will not wait, okay? I'll go to my project panel and highlight this text placeholder 1, drop it down into my timeline. Just above frame photos 2, enable the 3D layer here. Press P on my keyboard for the position. Then I will change the Z position here, probably 1847. Drag it down. Then I will highlight this stamp one and drop it down into the timeline. Then I will go to effects and preset, go to fill. I want this dark or gray. Click OK. Enable the 3D layer. Press P on your keyboard for the position. Change the position here. Away from the camera. Drag it up like that and put it on the other side. I will again change the Z position behind this photo, okay? Highlight this stamp one and Ctrl D to duplicate it. Drag down this duplicated stamp. Put it on the other side. Just like that. Then I will change the color here to white. If you want to change this one, so it's all up to you. Go to layer, create a new camera. I'm using a cost of 1628 zoom lens camera. Click OK. Go back to layer, create a new null object. I want this null object a 3D layer, parent the camera on the null object. Open the camera, go to camera options. I want this depth of field turn on. Then I will highlight this null object 1, press P on my keyboard for the position, move my playhead forward to about 4 seconds and 15 frames. Create a keyframe by hitting this stopwatch on the position and move my playhead back to the beginning of my timeline. I want these images to be out of our canvas on the left side. So all I have to do is to change the X position. We will start at 20,000. Let's see. Too much, so I will just adjust it to the right side. Just like that, and I will highlight all these compositions. Press T on my keyboard for the opacity, then move my playhead probably 6 seconds. I will create a keyframe here by hitting this stopwatch on the opacity, then move my playhead to about 6 seconds and 15 frames, and I want to change this opacity to 0. I will just change the resolution here to quarter, and let's preview it. So this is what we want. So now I'm gonna go to the project panel and create a new folder. I will name it scene 1. Then I will highlight these compositions and drag it on the scene 1 folder. Also the main photos, frame photos. Create a new folder and name it scene 2. I will highlight all these compositions and go to edit, duplicate it. I will drag these duplicated compositions into my scene 2 folder. Then I will open the main 2 photos, highlight these compositions. I will just drag it into the BG photos. Open the BG photos, highlight these 8, 9, 10 placeholders and drag it down into the main photos. Close it. Open scene 2 folder, go to frame photos, comes to open this 1, 2, 3 frame photos by double clicking your mouse and also this 8, 9, 10. Highlight this frame photos 1, open main photos and replace placeholder 1 by placeholder 8. Open frame photos 2 and highlight this placeholder 2, replace it with placeholder 9. Also the 3. Then open this frame photos 8, open the BG photos 2, replace the placeholder 8 by placeholder 1. Frame photos 9, replace it with placeholder 2. And also this 10, replace it by placeholder 1. All you have to do is to highlight this frame photos 1, replace it with this comes to frame photos. Do this to the rest of the compositions. Then this 8, replace it with the frame photos 8. This one is a double image, so all I have to do is to open the 10 and I will replace this one with the placeholder 3. Open the BG photos, press and hold your keyboard Alt and replace the placeholder 2 by placeholder 3. Then open media 2. Let's see. So now here all you have to do is to highlight each photos on the background, change the position like this. So you can change all the positions depending on your wants. I'll just fast forward it guys so that you will not wait, okay? Then I will open this camera, go to camera options and I will change the aperture here, increase it until such time that the photos in the background is blurred. Then I will open media 1, open the camera, go to camera options, increase the amount on the aperture. Then I will open the media 2 again, move your playhead at the beginning of your timeline, change this null one, X position to 1920 and the Z position, change this to 3500. Then I will go to layer, create a new null object, enable the 3D layer, parent the null object 1 to the null object 2. Press P on your keyboard for the position, create a keyframe on the null 2 object. Move my playhead to about 2 seconds and 15 frames. I will also move this keyframe on the 2 seconds and 15 frames. Hit the tiny diamond in your icon to create a keyframe and then I will highlight all these compositions. Press T on my keyboard for the opacity. I will just delete these keyframes. Then close it again. Then I will move my playhead to the end of my timeline. I will highlight this null object 2. I want these images to be out of the canvas again. So let's preview it. Now if you want to change the stamp here, double click it to open it up. Open project assets, go to image, open it up, go to elements. If you want to choose this footage, just drop it down into the timeline. Delete this letter. Be sure that this is highlighted. Go to effects and preset and go to generate fill. I want to change this to grayish something. If you want to move it down, you can. Highlight this type 1, drop it down into your timeline and drag it up. Be sure that this is highlighted. Go to effect and preset fill. Choose this grayish color. Now go back to media 2 and see. Now this one, if you want to make it closer to the camera again, all you have to do is to press P for the position and adjust it like that. So now I'm gonna go to composition and create a new composition. I will name it final. 3840 by 2160, 30 frames per second, and the duration is 20 seconds. Click OK. Now go open project panel. Open scene 1, highlight this media and drag it down into the timeline, and also this media 2 just above the media 1. Go your play to about 6 seconds and 15 frames and press open bracket key to move the media 2 layer. So now I'm gonna go to composition and create a new composition. I will name it BG or background. Click OK. Go to layer and I will create a new solid. And I will change this color to 16130A. Click OK. Then I will open my project assets, open image, go to elements, and I will drop down these 3 elements into the timeline. Now go to effects and go to generate fill. Change the color here to A7, A7, A7. Click OK. Press S on my keyboard and Shift P for the position, Shift R for the rotation. Resize and reposition these elements by changing some of the settings on the position, scale, and rotation. Then I will highlight these 3 elements layer, right click your mouse and pre-compose it. I will name it letter elements. Move all the attributes into the new composition and I will click OK. Then I will open the final and open the project panel and drop down this BG down into the timeline. Then I will open the assets, open footage, and drop down this light click into the timeline. Right click your mouse and go to transform, fit to comp. Toggle switches modes in here. Change the blending mode to add. Press T on your keyboard for the opacity. Set the opacity to 50%. We'll go open my BG. Press T on my keyboard for the opacity. On the letter elements, change this opacity to 50%. I think the opacity of our light click is so harsh, so all I have to do is to go back to light click and change the opacity to 20%. Then I will go to the footage and drop down these slow moving dust particles into the timeline. Right click my mouse, go to transform. I want it fit to comp. Change the blending mode here to add. Press T on your keyboard for opacity and change the opacity here to 50%. So let's preview this. Nice. So now our tutorial is done and I hope that you learned from it, guys. For those people who subscribe my channel, thank you very much. You are so awesome, guys. And for those people who have not yet subscribed, you can now have the chance to subscribe into my channel, and don't forget to press the notification bell so that you will get alerts if I have new videos to upload. Don't forget to like and comment if you want to, and I will try my best to answer all your questions if you have, okay? My thoughts for today is that trust yourself in order to believe that you can do it, okay? Thank you for watching and see you next time. God bless.